Welcome back, guys. If you remember Nonsense, Florida pop punk band, you're going to be in for a treat today because we have Best Days Behind. We have Dayton, Anthony, and Evan. What's up, guys?
How's it going?
So I don't even know where to start because we had so much material off camera that it's you know. Okay, let's just start with the obvious. Evan, you're the baby of the band. You said you're what, 31, 32?
31.
Yeah. And you hear, I'm sure you guys have heard it a million times, like if you're not really established in this, that, and the third, by the time you're 30, you might as well give up on your dreams of music. So this goes to Anthony and Dayton. What are your whys for keeping it up past 30?
Well, first of all, that doesn't apply for us as long as you bring one person along that is of that age. It gets you past that. But
lowers the average.
There's so much more to talk about. There's so much more to sing about, so much more reasons to play music. Music is our outlet, and so why would that ever stop? I feel like I have more to talk about now than I ever did when I was younger. So yeah, just love to play music and have my heart flow on a piece of paper, I guess. What do you think?
Well, I'm the oldest member of the band, but I'm also the most immature member of the band. So I might be 49, but I consider myself 49 going on about 21. So, it's all good. It's all how you think in life. And no, but it's, you know what? It doesn't matter when you follow your dream. You follow your dream when you follow your dream and you keep going for it. One of the great things about us is we all have careers, we all have jobs. So it's not like we're depending on this for, our only source of incomes and everything like that. And it lets us put some time together because we're not necessarily at the club till 2 a.m. every day. So, we can actually sit down and write and put music together. So it's really interesting.
Yeah. How did all of you wind up connecting? I will say, for context, there are two other members, Sean and Josh, that aren't on the episode right this second. So
we don't allow them in public.
I can understand that. We all have a couple.
Only on stage.
No microphones, no. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just stare straight ahead. Just do your thing, get off the stage, get in the car.
So the band, interestingly enough, started. It was me and a drummer friend that I've known for a while since I moved to Florida, which is like 8 years ago, just constantly trying to find other pieces to make a band. Was it Bandmix or Facebook? It was Bandmix. I had a post, like Bandmix, just kind of a social thing to try to find other musicians. And Evan finds my post on there. And he goes outside of Bandmix because nobody wants to pay Bandmix to message anybody. And Facebook messages me, and he's like, "Hey, I'm on the north side of the town that we live in." And I'm like, there's only like one area that's on the north side of that town. And it's like, "Do you live in such and such neighborhood?" And he's like, "I do." And I found out he lives like 3 minutes away from me. And I'm like, "Okay, let's go jam." And I go around the block, and from there we just instantly started writing songs. And at that point, it was me and Evan and a drummer writing songs with me and Evan singing them, which never was the plan. I can't sing. I write songs, but I can't sing. It was just kind of us singing to get the formula out there while trying to find what our voice would be. And then from there, we had a singer or two that was kind of iffy, and then we found kind of temporary, I should say. And then we found Anthony not that long afterwards. Did I skip anything, Evan?
No, I think you nailed it on the head. All right. That's pretty good.
Right. Yeah, and we found Anthony similar fashion, right?
Facebook. They had. Yeah. I have never been in a band before. I've sung a lot of my life. I've done a lot, but I've never actually been in a band before. And I saw their Facebook ad, and I said, you know what? Why not? So I answered it. I showed them some of my vocals. They showed me some of their music, and we just connected, and it's been awesome since then. It's a great experience.
Yeah.
It took me a while to get used to the name Best Days Behind. That's a good subject to talk about. Because when we first started, I said, I'm not sure about this name. It can be depressing if you don't look at it from the right way.
Right.
But there's a truth that for so many out there, the best days are behind them musically, genre. But I think one of the fun things that we do is we bring back those best days.
Yeah.
You know, one of the main things that we hear when we do shows is we'll have somebody come up to us and say, you know what, I listened to you guys and I got brought back to when I was in high school listening to this rock music that you just don't find anymore with AI and all these things out there. And so, yeah, we bring back the best days. So I got used to the name.
Yeah, no.
But it's been great being with them.
I think that adds so about the band name. It's just like a band name, but like throwing 20 band names at the wall in a text message chain back in the day before Anthony, by the way.
There were some really crazy choices.
There were some weird ones.
Really crazy ones.
Florida Man, the band. If anybody ever wants. So best days behind when I said it. I mean, I was just thinking in an introspective way, our best days behind us, kind of like you could put a question mark at the end. Best days behind. Like a lot of my songwriting is kind of about the past or that sort of thing. But Anthony comes in and adds that additional element of thought pattern behind it of, you know, or best days of music behind. I don't know. But that makes it kind of multifaceted. And so now we kind of embraced it. And
we're very introspective. The lyrics that Dayton writes and that we write are just very, you're looking back, you're thinking about time's past, but you know, there's always hope for the future, but are you going to be able to attain it? So the name works.
I agree.
It grew on me.
Did you have a choice?
I didn't. I gave multiple suggestions.
I already made the t-shirts.
Yes. There was already a logo and a t-shirt. It's over at that.
Yeah, once the logo's done, you're done, man. I just rebranded with a new logo, and I never want to do that again.
Dave Grohl's biggest regret in life is that his band is called the Foo Fighters. Like, seriously.
Really?
Which is actually a cool band name, honestly.
It's so cool.
An alien thing or something. I don't know exactly what Foo Fighters are off the top of my head, but yeah, he hates it.
He tried to create a band where no one would recognize he was in it. So he's like, what's the most random thing I can think of? And he's like, Foo Fighters.
But in the end, what is a band? What is a band name but a name?
Yeah.
That's what
you
put out there. So
I told somebody one time they were giving me something about it. I'm like, okay, well, let's say we're in the 60s and I said my band was called the Beatles. You'd think I was a nut job. We wouldn't name a band the Beatles or the Doors or Led Zeppelin. It makes no sense, but it makes perfect sense, doesn't it? So
yeah, it's memorable. But what are some of your guys' musical influences? Because everyone is so different. It's a very different answer all over the map every time I ask this.
You've been so quiet.
Yeah, I'll start. Yeah, so
I know. I'm like, I gotta let Evan answer something.
Yeah, I'm kind of all over the place a lot. You know, growing up when I was younger, I was huge into a lot of the classic rock, AC/DC, Pink Floyd. And then also growing up, you know, Coheed and Cambria is a really good band of mine. Brand New, Thursday, Blink-182, obviously, and had a lot of spectrum on different bands that I had influences from.
Coheed and Cambria is my all-time favorite band. I've seen them 27, 28 times, been on their cruise a couple times. They're certainly an influence. They've been my favorite band for like 20-some years. But I think from a songwriting perspective, I liked a lot of stuff. Like, I used to really like Death Cab for Cutie when Ben Gibbard could write a little bit better lyrics. I liked it better when he was a little bit more depressed, I think.
I know that's so hard because you're like, I'm so glad that you're feeling better mentally, but like the lyrics just aren't hitting quite as well.
His lyrics are worse. I loved Modest Mouse and Isaac Brock. That's a big element of songwriting. So I like a harder style of music, like for musicality. I liked hooks from like the pop punk eras of like Blink and stuff, like you mentioned. Motion City Soundtrack's a cool band from that era that doesn't get enough love. But yeah, that's where I think my lyrics thought patterns come from. And then the reason I picked up a guitar, although I don't listen to him anymore, he always needs to be mentioned. When I was when I was maybe like 14 or something, I was so obsessed with Jimi Hendrix back in the day. Like, I was just the god of guitar and the reason I play a Stratocaster. I haven't listened to him forever, but like, always still there is the slight inspiration to stuff. What do you got?
Well, stage persona, my idol would be Jim Morrison. I am a big Doors fan. I mean, Doors is one of my favorite bands of all time. But lyrically and musically, my favorite band is Smashing Pumpkins. I love Smashing Pumpkins. I'm pretty diverse in things. Vocally, I love Queen and I love Journey. I have a high range like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, if I had to pinpoint myself down to a genre, it'd be hair metal, which is one of the things that's so
what
diverse.
I grew up on.
I mean, Motley Crue, I've seen so many times. Faith No More, I've seen a bunch of times. All those guys, I mean, I'm a hair metal guy. He's like a 90s rocker and he's a classic rocker. And our drummer's a hardcore punk rocker and our bass player is a death metal guy. So we bring a very interesting perspective to music.
Right. There's definitely something there about the mix and how it works.
Yeah.
So I would say I'll just throw the term of emo music. I think a lot of like the lyrics might be like post-emo kind of lyrics that I write in songwriting. If I'm picking up a guitar and writing a song, I'm singing it and it's sounding that way in my head. But then Anthony grabs it and the vocals completely change what it is, because we have this bigger voice that makes things more full and sound in a way that I never imagined. And this guy's a guitar guru, growing up with the best guitar players in the world. He writes the most amazing guitar parts and such. And so I think it's just interesting how it all comes together. And yeah, got a drummer going 200 beats per minute every second, trying to make every song a hardcore punk song, and bass player from old metal bands. So it's a pretty cool mix. And that's how that blend, if everybody likes the same thing, I don't think you get enough uniqueness or diversity. When you have a lot of different stuff thrown at the wall, I think that's when you get true creativity and stuff that sounds new.
Yeah, typically Evan will come up with some great riffs, some great music. Dayton will write a song out, and then me and Dayton will start going back and forth because I'm very big on vocals. I want cadence to the music. You should sing along with every song that's my thing. Sing a happy birthday to you. Everything should kind of be like that.
Thank you.
So yeah. Yeah, we both had birthdays just recently.
Same week.
Yeah, same week. So he'll write something that's so amazing, and then I'll start annoying him, and I'll sit down and say, okay, what were you thinking when you wrote this? How are you feeling? What were you doing? And I was like, can I change this lyric to ABC instead of ABF? And what I mean, and we just go back and forth a little bit, but we always figure it out, and it always comes in really good.
The amount of times Anthony will tell me, can I change the to they or there to this or something so minuscule? I'm like, dude, I have no idea. Like, that does not matter at all. Go for it, buddy.
That matters.
It's all about singability, and I get it. I mean, the main message of the song.
Yeah, you never change the message of the song. Just sometimes the way it's spoken.
So we figure out how to fit it. For sure.
Yeah, the funny thing is, I just wrote my own first completed song with lyrics ever. So I finally get to understand the process with everything.
No, he's written a bunch. He's actually just written one that we all like. No.
It was only like my 50th or 60th song I brought to them, but it's all good.
It just sounds good. It's going to be a very good song.
The idea that when you write something, if you write it by yourself, which lyrically probably too often is what we're doing. I'm writing a song with an acoustic guitar or something, but like when you write something by yourself, you hear it one way in your head, and you bring it to a band, it's never going to sound like you thought it was.
Nope.
Hopefully for the better, which I think it does. But yeah, that's just kind of the nature of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we write a lot. We write music together. We write lyrics. I mean, I write the majority of the lyrics, but those little cadence points and such, we kind of modify things together. I don't know. That's kind of our process, I guess.
Yeah.
I think that's unusual.
Yeah. Dayton, I want to kind of dive into your process a little bit, because you did say that you write a lot of the lyrics. And I think when we were talking off camera, it's like 90 to 95%. What is your process when you're writing the lyrics? Are you processing it as you go, or have you already processed it and you're just kind of getting it down on paper? Like, is your notes app open in your car? And for legal reasons, that's a joke.
Oh my God.
Yep.
So my life is a continual stream of song lyric ideas in my notepad, right? So I would say more often than not, I'm writing fragments all the time of thoughts that are things that are coming to me about ways I'm feeling, about ways to say things, way to interpret things. Generally, I'll have 20 little fragments of this, that, and the other. I like sending like 4 lines to them and say, how you like this? And then it's like, I'll come back to stuff. And then I'll kind of fully formulate it out. Not really great at a one sitting kind of writing process, but
I don't think anyone is.
Yeah. So I kind of write, I have a theme ahead, and I typically seem to write a good starting pattern or fragment or idea lyrically about what I want to say without having an instrument in my hand. Then once I look at it and think, okay, how did that work? Maybe Evan has sent music over already, in which case I use his music and I start like, okay, well, how let's sing singability of this, and then it kind of just flows from there. Or I just pick up an acoustic guitar and then record a demo and then throw the demo to the musicianal aspect of the group here, and it's just me. I am a horrible singer, but that's kind of my process. A lot of notepad documents of constant song lyrics ready to put things together and formulate thoughts, and then either use music we already have that's been created, or just I record an acoustic demo of myself, and then all of a sudden Evan puts a bunch of magic and the band puts a bunch of magic on top of it, and Anthony sings it in a way that makes it beautiful, that didn't sound like my hyena voice. So that's
hey, whatever works.
That's usually the versions I get.
Yeah. But things just hit me throughout the day and I just type stuff up. So
do you find that writing helps you cope with what you're dealing with, or is it just like you're like, this is how I can produce the art?
Yeah, it's therapeutic for sure. It's medicine. It allows me to talk about things that happened in my past, things that are happening less today. Maybe that's why the band name is Best Days Behind. I have a really bad past, and so I still dwell on it a little too much in song lyrics. But yeah, it allows me to cope, allows me to kind of talk about it. Never talk about things too literally, though. I love to find a good way of saying things that might feel ballistic to anybody who might listen to it. And then they can interpret it themselves. Like a song about my father who had a million problems. Doesn't really say it in the song that it's about that, or that kind of thing.
One of my favorite songs too. Yeah.
Called Pseudo Life. Yeah.
Not on our EP, but something will be recorded.
It's gonna be recorded soon.
Yeah. I do feel like the darkest of times produces the most beautiful of art, which sucks because you have to go through it to produce like masterpieces. But it's like, it's almost like that, I guess, consolation prize.
If you embrace the dark times,
yeah,
right? It's inspirational. When I write music, I'm a little different. Like I don't have a big notepad of stuff. Like I've written a lot of church music too, because I'm a Christian, and I've written a lot of worshipy type music.
Yeah.
And like when I get a song, I'll have it downloaded in 5 seconds. I'll just start done. Like it's very quick the way I write. It just I don't sit and think about it. It just hits me, and I just write it real quick and just get it out. And so it's interesting on how all those. It's a feeling, and sometimes it'll be random, and sometimes it'll be like like you're going through something. And it's funny because I always laugh, because as the guy who's the churchy guy, sometimes I'll write the most dark stuff. They're like, you this, and
we had to take him aside for.
It is what it is, but every experience you have in life, if you can help somebody get through something by what you're writing, it's an amazing thing.
Right. Now, Anthony, you have kind of a little bit of a, we'll say, musical resume. You have appeared on American Idol.
Yes.
That experience, obviously being played out on national TV, how did that affect you? Coming home, seeing it, reliving it, how did that affect you moving forward from that?
It was interesting. my quick 1 minute story is I never knew I could sing before.
Mhm.
When I was young, I went to college to go for journalism. When I was in college, I joined the chorus because it was an easy credit. And a week later, I was given a full scholarship to become a voice major out of nowhere. They heard me sing. They said, hey, we're going to pay your way. We're sending you to Germany. You're going to be on the opera circuit. So I was classically trained.
Mhm.
My father got sick with cancer. So I left school to go home, take care of the family. I lived in New York City area. So I started going out and singing opera in the streets and made good money at it. I was on the David Letterman show. I was in Business Week magazine, tried out for American Idol. At the last year you could, which was 26, they told me I had more of a Broadway voice.
Mhm.
But at the time, you have to understand, I was 550 pounds at this time.
Yeah.
So that was used on their show. My weight was
Mhm.
definitely used on their show. So
Mhm.
Simon wound up making fun of me. You know, what he said, quote for quote, was after I left the rehearsal or the audition, he said, well, I'm glad we didn't put Anthony through because we wouldn't be able to afford the food bill if he came to Hollywood. It's his shtick, right?
Mhm.
They were very nice in person. It was the original judges. But from that, I got 15 minutes of fame. Absolutely. I mean, I was in the Inquirer. I was in Rolling Stone magazine. I hosted Access Hollywood. And it just kind of set my musical stuff going. Okay, you know, and when I was out there, I got to audition for a few things. I just never knew which direction to go on anything.
Mhm.
So I just kind of stuck with finding a career, being a car salesman, you know, making money where
Right.
money was made. But it definitely helped me with stage presence. It, you know, being on that show, realizing, and just in case you're watching this, the show is 100% fake. None of it's real. You know, it's
I
all
mean,
set.
most reality is so scripted.
It's reality as you know, as Suno is reality in music, right? It's not real at all. But it was a heck of an experience, and just being around that, and you know, I mean, that was 2007, and I still sometimes get people that'll be like, I've seen you somewhere. I know I've seen you somewhere on television. I'm like, yeah, hey, I was a little much bigger guy.
Yeah, you get it more if you still look the same.
Yeah. But but yeah, it was an interesting experience in my life.
Listen to that resume. I was once in a band that opened for Reverend Horton Heat.
I mean, hey,
Or there's a couple other bands of that size. Like, I mean, that's about, yeah. That's a resume right there, and that's pretty incredible.
I'm not even bother to say mine.
You have a great resume.
Yeah, I played in a couple bands in high school and moved to
I've
Florida, and here I am.
bands my whole life.
Yeah, none of us are
watch out,
Floridians
guys.
either. None of us are from Florida.
that's hilarious.
He's a New Yorker. I'm a Jersey guy.
Illinois, about 8 years ago.
All
Okay, that explains why you're Jets fans. I was like, why are you in Florida and a Jets fan? But I was just like,
try to forget that part.
But we're also Knicks fans, so give it up.
yep. What was it, 53 years?
Yeah. I think it's been 51 for the Jets, though. So,
Hey, Dayton, who's your basketball team? Oh, he's ready to rock and roll. Stand by one.
Yeah.
Orlando Magic.
Yeah.
Who would have thought sports would have been the closest we came to you leaving the band?
Yeah, good story.
Yeah. Look, people take their sports very seriously. I know I do.
Yeah, we found out that night real quick.
Temperamental rhythm guitars.
Yeah.
You know, you always got to have one.
I'm laying in bed. I'm like, what the heck is going on right now?
I was in the arena wondering what was going on. Yeah, we had a real tiff because he blew a 26-point lead in the fourth quarter when I was in the stadium. That was a elimination game in the playoffs, and the Magic have won a series and playoffs in 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I get a message from this character, and I'm like, I'm living sports hell right now. Anyway, it's funny.
Yeah, you're not a Buffalo Bills fan. You're fine.
Yeah. We're used to living in sports hell as Jets fans, so I'm like, you should be okay with this. You know how much prodding I've taken in my
Listen,
life?
I'm also a Jets fan, and I'm also a Mets fan.
It's ugly.
It is just nothing but just downhill for me.
You just like being hurt.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, I think I do.
That's what his wife told me.
Yeah.
Damn. It's actually, I'd like to kind of take back a lot of what we've already said. Maybe we should start the interview over. It's not actually our life experiences that come to our kind of sad, introspective music. It's actually our horrible sports fandom.
Yeah.
Yes, it's.
I'm used to being disappointed when it comes to my sports teams.
Yeah.
Honestly, we've got so many like metal bands that come out of Buffalo. I'm shocked none of them have written like a song about being disappointed half the year because of the Bills. No, I haven't heard a single one yet.
Like a primary topic.
Look, when you live in Bills Mafia territory, it is a cult. There's no other way to describe it.
Oh, I've never written a song about sports fans.
Our next thing.
Yeah, maybe so.
I just like the ghostwriting credit. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes.
you got it.
You got it.
A song
It's going to be called Hot Mess. I mean,
There we go. There we go.
It's like to be a fan of the Jets. Even worse to be a fan of the Mets. I don't know.
See, this is what I talk about. He comes up with stuff like
That was
that.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, I think we're onto something.
Melodies run through my head all day long. I think it's a little bit out there. Like in my head, I'm just like singing stuff in my head all day long.
Listen, I tell him all the time, I'm like super jealous that him and Anthony can sit there and write such a good, meaningful song. Because there's so many times like I would love to write lyrics. So I started dabbling in it. Obviously, it took like 60 song for them to say yes. But like it impresses me so much that they can just turn out such good material so quickly. I tell them all the time I'm jealous of that.
It really is a talent.
I'm amazed that you can just play a guitar solo that sounds like a soul on guitar in like 5 minutes, and that his voice can sound like it is.
I'm amazed that they can play an instrument at all. I can't.
Oh my!
I can maybe hit a triangle. That would probably be the extent of what I could do.
Yeah. I played the clarinet in middle school. It did not go well. That's the extent of my musical instrument thing. So I totally get where you're coming from, Anthony.
Yeah.
Listen, I got kicked out of orchestra in elementary school. So
how did you manage that one?
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't know. Yet I can put together a guitar.
Picturing the scene from the intro of The Simpsons where like I think Lisa gets kicked out of the orchestra.
Saxophone.
That just went through my head.
Oh my god. Not to take like a serious left turn, because we haven't. The ebb and flow of this has been great. Especially with music and mental health kind of going hand in hand, and a lot of bands being more vocal about their mental health struggles and stuff like that. And especially as men, how daunting is it to be more open about your mental health and where you're at, and being more public about it at shows and talking to fans and stuff like that?
I think it's very important. I've taken medicine most of my life. I've had severe anxiety most of my life, severe OCD most of my life, and it affected so much. And it would be a blessing and a curse. On one hand, I always, because my main skill is writing, like poetry. I'm a poet,
Yep.
And I would write stories, and I would always say when I was younger, I was like, well, the good thing is I can make someone believe the boogeyman is real. The problem is I believe the boogeyman is real. So it's a blessing and a curse to have that kind of creativity in your mind. But I've gone through it for a long time, and I've gone on this medicine and off this medicine and this medicine. I've gone to I used to think I was having a heart attack every day of the week. I'd rush to the emergency room. My OCD, I'd have to count things in my head. Even before we could sing sometimes, I have to do my, little weird things like that, little quirks.
That's what that was.
Yes, that's what.
We're learning something today.
You go through the gauntlet of experimenting with different medicines. And I think a lot of people are afraid to talk about being on medicine because they think you're crazy if you're on medicine. They're like, no, you're not crazy, but we all have little issues. And, there's medicines that can help you, and if I was encouraging anybody out there, I think one of the main problems is they'll get on a medicine and it'll help, and then they think they're better. So they stop taking the medicine. And they don't understand your reason you're feeling better is because you're on a medicine, and so it's very important to be open about that, because there's nothing wrong with it. It is what it is. They finally found a really good medicine for me that has calmed me down a lot. And it's really changed my whole thing. And no one should be ashamed to talk about the struggles they go through in life. I mean, we sing about them.
Right.
I would hope there's no 1950s era masculinity thing about mental health anymore. I really hope that that's going away.
You and me both.
Because you did phrase it in that way, and I'm sure that is true because there are people that are men that are more like, oh, we're supposed to not show our emotions and that sort of thing. So if I could say anything to that, yeah, I have multiple medicines. One is the one I take in my mouth, and the other is the one that I write or my voice. So I think all are ways that you can let yourself be heard, and that's probably the easiest thing to say is make yourself be heard. And I just realized I'm wearing this shirt. No, this is right.
What does it say?
Right. Her.
Should write love on her arms.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
I almost screwed it
I
up.
am a millennial. That was like my bread and butter for mental health before heart support.
So if you don't know that organization, right there alone. And secondly, Punk Rock Saves Lives is a great organization as well. So I'll just kind of throw that out there. But yeah, it's we shouldn't be in some old age where we can't talk about our feelings.
Yeah.
And whatever they are, find an outlet for them. Your voice is the most important medicine there is. I don't know. I don't know how to tell somebody else to do that though, because it just is what feels comfortable for me is for my outlet to do it. I don't want to say that I am strong for doing it or something. It's just what my soul tells me to do is to write about it and to talk about it and to sing it or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
So there's people that need that strength. So all I can say is just if you get it out, that's
yeah.
Don't be afraid to admit if you have a problem. Reach out to somebody.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I think all of us in our lives have known people that just didn't make it, you know?
Yeah.
And one phone call could change that. You know, I mean, I've dealt with people going through really tough situations where they felt like no one cared. And I'm like, there's someone who cares about you. It's me, you know, or it might be something else. Get a cup of coffee, call anytime, you know. I mean, there's hotlines you can call if you really have nobody. Golly, you know, just text the wrong number and see what you get back. I mean, there's so you have to reach out in life, right? Like, I mean, you never know, you know, the miracle could happen at any point in your life. But, you know, never, what do they say? They say never, you know, make a permanent situation out of a temporal problem in your life, you know, because life is peaks and valleys. You know, you're always going through it. And I tell people, no matter where you're at today, you won't be there in a year. If you're at the top of the mountain right now, you might be in the valley a year from now. If you're in that valley, you might be at the top of the mountain a year from now.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't going to be right where you're at. You know, you're going to be somewhere else. So, you know, be thankful for the good times and then realize the bad times are temporary.
Or the bad times.
It's my new song.
If it weren't for the bad times, you can enjoy you need the valleys to enjoy how great it is to be on.
Yeah. So. It's just when you're in the valleys and you're in the thick of it and you're just like, no.
Yeah.
The
best thing you can do when you're going through the valley is don't set up a tent.
Yes. That's a big one.
Don't take up camp in the valley. You're going to get through it. And easy to say, but it's also true.
But as someone who has set up camp and also like just kept it moving, you have to keep it moving. You have to just be like, there's another side to this. I don't know when, I don't know where, but there's another side to this. And damn it, I got to see the other side of this.
Yeah, and that's probably one of the main reasons why I got back into music.
Mm-hmm.
I know they both, you know, shared out here that they've been dealing with it for a long time. I really only started having to deal with it later in life, the last probably 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
I think the death of my grandfather really kickstarted it.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, you know, anxiety and some depression and stuff. And, you know, I told them a million times that I was looking forward to band practice every week. And it was that 2 or 3 hours of my week where I didn't think about life, problems, situations, things to do. And talking with them, playing has really, really been super, super therapeutic for me.
Yeah.
I'm not on any medications or anything, but just playing the music has really helped me through a lot in the last couple of years.
Yeah. What are you guys hoping as a band as a whole that somebody walks away from with this episode?
Me. Not this profound at the moment. Like I said, I love what you talk about because it's a part of music that's so important. I hope someone takes away from this that their words have meaning, their voice has meaning. Perhaps music is an escape for people, in which case continue to do that. But just your voice has meaning. I don't think that's a musical relatable thing specific to music.
I agree.
Talk to people, say what you need to say. It's important because if you keep it inside, that's what I would say to this topic.
I would hope people understand. I don't care if you're 10 years old, 20 years old, 30 years old, 40 years old, 50 years old. If you love music, get involved in it.
Yes.
You're never too old. You're never too old to do what you love. And when you're doing what you love, it's fun. You don't feel old. You're only as young as you feel. You're only as old as you feel. Like I said, I never was in a band until I was 47 years old. So for 47 years of being a singer, I was never in a band. So there's people out there that listen, man, I've always played guitar, but well, listen, man, go on Facebook, find somebody that's playing.
Yep.
You might never even play a gig, but you find someone in a garage to jam with and have some fun. And that's what it's all about. And magic happens in those little things, but you got to find the magic and just never stop, not to quote Journey, one of my favorite bands, but don't stop believing, you just got to go with it. It's very true.
Or just go to it. Like, music is my escape, right? And so whether I'm writing or playing a show, I've been to 1,000 concerts, right? So music can be such a great escape. So even if you don't, to people listening, you might know, but not everybody's playing an instrument or wanting to make music themselves, but music is a amazing escape. Go to a show.
Just being in the community too.
Put on an
everybody. Amazing.
What have you? It was always my escape. I've been to 1,000. The amount of concerts I've been to in my life is crazy, and just being in that environment where you're with your like-minded people. I assume we're all music lovers that are listening to this. So when you go to a show, you're with like-minded people that love the same things you do, and you escape the world for 3 hours or whatever that may be. Or if you go on the Coheed cruise, you escape it for 4 days. But you also escape having any money in your bank account.
Except for Papa. Can't forget about him.
I will can't. Anyway, that's what I got. Music is healing. Your voice matters. Those 2 lines. That's all.
Evan, your final thoughts?
I think they kind of nailed it on the head with everything. They put things in such good words.
Yeah.
Good job.
Crushed it.
Good job.
Left me speechless.
Yes.
Yeah. So to wrap up, do you guys have any, I'm sure you have music in the works. Is there hopefully release by date? Because we all know there's a release by date and then there's the release by date. And then do you guys have any gigs coming up? Because I've seen you guys have been posting about, some things you've got going on.
I'll do music coming and the encyclopedia of our tour dates over there. I'm really bad at that one. I'm really bad at remembering which date is which show. So we have our EP you can listen to, which is already out. I stayed behind. I suspect that August is going to be recording time to turn it into a full length. We have dozens, 20 songs that we need to get recorded like ASAP. We've just been playing too many shows. So based on our process, I would assume that we should have a full length out by, say, September. Not to hold us exactly accountable for that, but check out our EP for now. That's on all the normal stuff, Spotify and what have you. But probably a full length by September. What do we got for shows, guys?
So Friday, July 3rd, this upcoming Friday, we're playing at Punk Rock Pizza. That's going to be an awesome show. And then we're playing
in Daytona.
In Daytona Beach, sorry. And then July 11th, we're playing at West End, which is in Sanford. I think it's the first punk night. They're doing every Saturday. They're doing a punk night now. They're restarting that. So we're playing one of the first nights. And then Friday, July 24th, we're playing at my sister's house in Orlando, Florida, part of the Creative Flow Soundbites Festival, which I believe Heart Support is actually going to be there, if I'm not mistaken. So we're really excited for that. I know I had the promoter reach out to me. It asked me if we had any recommendations. I recommended Punk Rock Saves Lives, and then she mentioned Heart Support. So
yep, love Heart Support here.
Yeah.
And one other little tidbit, since anyone's watching this, I get a little secret information, is us three might be doing an acoustic set coming up sometime soon. There's a festival that unfortunately, we can't bring a whole band with. They're only allowing acoustics. We had a thought about it. It's like, you know what? Maybe we'll just do a unplugged set somewhere.
Yeah.
So we'll update our socials when and if that's announced.
That would be a chance to hear some stuff in a different way and hear some stuff you have not played in a long time.
Yeah.
So that would be interesting for sure. Cool.
Hi. Well, Dayton, Anthony, Evan, thank you so much for coming on and being vulnerable and just putting your guys' self out there. We will catch you guys next week. And as always, stay hot and stay messy.